the whole world at our feet, watching seasons change. Our roads were lined with adventure, mountains in the way couldn't keep us from the sea. Here we stand, open arms. This is home where we are, ever strong in the world that we made. I still hear you in the breeze, see your shadows in the trees, holding on, memories never change.
Okay, good evening everyone. Let's see if it actually works, because I did have some microphone problems just before the stream. So hopefully everything is fine now and it works. And yes, I do have feedback on my YouTube page, so that means everything works. Good evening, officially now. Welcome to my live stream again. And today's topic will be trying to implement CHIP-8 virtual machine again, as in this is the second part actually. Last part was, well, first part was last week. And I did implement most of like the boilerplate code around it, as in like creating a window, making some threads, and figuring out how to actually get to the frame buffer in SDL2, which I did not do before. I did do it in SDL1, but I usually just use OpenGL, so I had little experience with it and it did take some time. So yeah, as I did mention, I'm not doing mission solutions or news during the live stream. Instead, I will just be focusing on coding. So do expect a video with like mission solutions in a couple of days. That will be probably in a vlog form. I did one for the Polish live stream though, in a video, full video, like fully edited video format, but it takes quite a lot of time. So I'm going to try the like video log format this time. One little thing I would like to experiment with, which I'm doing already, I've been doing for like a year on my Polish live stream, is I'm doing giveaways on my Polish live stream where I usually ask people to like send an email to a given email with a specific tag, and then my randomizer script basically picks one person that gets a book, like a physical book, not an ebook. And so I'm going to try it today for you folks. And I have this POC or GTFO book. It's still like fully wrapped. I didn't unpack it. I actually have 2 other copies. So yeah, so I decided to give this one away. How to get it? I will basically, like during the half of the stream, I will give you the email address where you have to send an email with your nickname. That's everything you have to do. There is nothing else you have to do. You don't have to register anyway. Just send an email. And then my script will pick one person who will receive the book. Now, doing this internationally is a little more complicated, I would say, because I'm not sure I can send packages to every country out there. So if I cannot send you the package and you've actually been selected, my apologies. It's totally not under my control. It's under the control, you know, of first of all the Swiss Post, and second of all international laws. So yeah, but I will do everything I can to actually try to send you the book, and if it happens that I cannot, then we'll try to figure something out. Cool. So let's switch to my desktop, and it's not an announcement, something I wanted to mention. Honorary Bot, which you probably do remember from his really awesome live streams, said that he implemented in his debugger, which he did show on this live stream, you know, the virtualized debugger, he implemented Intel network card support, and he's basically looking for somebody to try it out if it actually works. So if you do try it out, do ping Honorary Bot on Twitter or somewhere else that you did try it and it worked, or you had some problems. So do let him know. He's really curious about it. So that's the only thing I wanted to mention. Let's get to CHIP-8. First of all, oh, there's already a question. Oh, 2 questions. When will the mission summary be published? Rough estimate. Hopefully in 2 days. So I'm probably not going to be able to do it today. Expect me to do it Friday morning-ish, or Saturday morning if everything else fails. Then there will be like an hour of editing, even if it's a vlog. So it should be up around Saturday. I still need to figure out how to actually schedule my week around it. So rough estimate is Saturday. Am I using Vim emulation in Sublime, and why not? I'm not using it. I didn't try using it. I'm not feeling lack of Vim for now. It just seems to work, so I didn't try it. I might try it later, but yeah. And there is no reason really why not. It's just I didn't feel the need to. Yeah. Okay, so this is the Wikipedia page for it. Now, oh, right. Most important thing. This is our moderator today, KrzaQ. Thank you for being here and helping me. And KrzaQ is going to be basically looking at your questions and passing them to me. So if you have a question, do ping this guy, both on YouTube channel and on IRC, so he actually sees that there is a question and he can pass it to me. That's really important that you ping him. Cool. I think that's everything. Oh right, the mission, there will be a mission today at the end of a live stream, and it's actually prepared fully from end to end by Foxtrot Charlie. So thank you for that, and have fun solving it. It's actually 8/10 difficulty, so it should be fun. But it's solvable. At least that's what Foxtrot told me. You never know. Okay, where's my code? So my code is here, okay. So last time we had a couple of, well, one file, two files, including the make file. Not a lot of code, just 2 kilobytes. And yeah, and there's Pogrom. Pogrom is totally not my code, it's code I've downloaded. Check out the last live stream to know where I did download it from. Now, this is the source code. I'm going to look at it in a second. I'm going to make it just to be sure it still compiles. Spaces or tabs? I prefer spaces. Personal preference. Now, okay, it did compile, so let's see if it works. It wants some ROM, so let's give it to it. And it actually spawns a window on my main LCD, which is my top LCD, but doesn't really matter. And as usual, you probably don't see this little blue pixel here, but yeah, you probably don't, but it means that it actually does work. Now, cool. So today, what I finished last time is actually I created a new thread with somewhere here, yeah, main loop with, yeah, this function is running in a separate thread. So whatever we do here, we can do blocking stuff, and it will not influence the main thread, where the main thread is supposed to handle, for example, window manager messages, which means it's supposed to, well, handle stuff like input, but also moving the window. And if we would block in the main thread, then that would actually stop displaying the graphics. And I know that there are some blocking instructions in the architecture, so yeah, so that's why I needed a new thread. Yeah, and I guess, well, the main doesn't do too much. It creates a window, creates a renderer, grabs the pixel surface, and that's basically about it. And when it's time to exit the program, then, my apologies, when it's time to exit the program, it basically sets the end to 1 using atomic set and waits for the thread to finish. And that's it. And the thread is actually initialized here using SDL threads. I was wondering, you might remember, whether I should use SDL threads or whether I should use C++ threads. I did use in the past C++ threads. I have never used SDL threads, so I decided to try out the SDL thread interface and see how it works actually. Cool. So yeah, the main stuff is basically today implementing the opcodes and actually have something running. Oh, there's one more thing. I was wondering, like, where should the PC go at the beginning? You know, the program counter or the instruction pointer, as it's called in other architectures. And this should be the correct place to put it. And I also was wondering where I should put the ROM image I'm loading. And from what Foxtrot checked, and another person also, I'm sorry, I don't remember your nickname. Yeah, this is the correct place. So my basically suspicion that this is the correct place to put the ROM was well on spot on. If it's actually spot on, we will check later when we actually can run some code. So, in the main loop, where is my main loop? Here's the main loop. I do have to implement, well, I do have to implement basically both the decoding of the instructions and the actually executing them, right? Now it's quite funny because there are 2 bytes. It's the big endian. I did explain what's big endian if you don't know in the last episode, so you should be up to date on that. I need to figure out how to decode it. And then it's quite easy though. So I guess I'm going to do it like I'm going to do a list of methods where each method actually does implement a given opcode, and the opcode will be provided in an array in a form of some value and then the mask, where the mask is going to be, for example, here. So for this opcode, the value will be, well, 0, 0, 0. This doesn't matter actually what's here, but the first one needs to be 0, and the mask will be F, O, 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 meaning that if if the byte word which I read and mask, oh, I cannot do a and here, so let's do this, and mask, if it's actually equal to the like 0, 0, 0, then that means that this is the correct opcode and I can run it. I am going to do basically like a for loop then that goes over it. It's probably not the fastest way to do it. I could probably think of a faster way to actually do it, but let's start with this. This isn't, CHIP-8 isn't like a fast machine. I don't think this method of doing it will cause any problems, so this is how I'm going to approach it. And to approach it this way, I do believe I need to create the structure, though let's do it maybe here. So there are going to be a private, so the structure is going to look like this. What do I call it? Like opcode entry, opcode table entry. Yeah, that's a good name. UN16 as the opcode, and then UN16 again as the mask, sorry. And then what I do need to do, this is quite funny. Clear screen. Yeah, okay. E, what's E? Oh no, E is just a value, like a hexadecimal value. I thought that, yeah, this is like, E means something, and I was looking for it in this table, but it doesn't mean anything, so that's fine. Okay, and then I'm going to have to basically think of what, well, do some function pointer here basically, but I'm going to handle this in a second. First I'm going to create this this table, and this table, it's going to be, what is it going to be? Is it yeah, I guess just do opcode table entry, opcode table, no, maybe okay, no, but because it's not a global, it's a constant. Yeah, it's just I'm thinking what style to use. Sorry for that. And I guess I can put, so this is going to be by very const because it doesn't need to change at any point. Or is it? No, it's not going to be const. Though I can say how many opcodes there are. I'm not going to count them, obviously. I'm just going to copy paste it into something. Okay. And how many lines there are in the file? There are 39 lines in the file, starting from 1. That means there are 39 opcodes. Is that correct, or 38? Well, whatever, doesn't really matter. I'm going to initialize this not here. I'm going to actually create a method which is called initialize opcode table, and I'm going to do all the assignments for due to reasons which I'm going to disclose soon. Okay, and I guess I can implement it somewhere here, so let's do it here. CHIP-8. Okay. Now, how to do it in a sane way? Because I probably don't want to be typing everything here, so where's my, yeah, hello. The file is called xxx for simplicity reason. Okay, I'm going to make the console actually really huge, really long. Yeah. And now I can copy just no, sorry. Yeah. This row basically. Oh, can I? Sorry. Let's go. No. Come on, it's too close to the border, I think. I cannot. Okay, now it's fine. Okay. So this, and it's up to A, and then from here. Okay, I don't need this. This is garbage. So is this. Okay. And now I can add OX. Obviously this is not proper hexadecimal, but that doesn't matter yet. Yes, I should use a regular expression here, and I have absolutely no idea how to do it in Sublime, but it's faster for me to just do this instead of looking now in the manual. Okay, fine. If someone could tell me, like, if this is actually, if this can do a replace with regular expression, Control H, does it do regular expression? I hope it does. Can I do it in? Okay. Regular expression. In selection. I have no idea what this is. Wrap. I don't know. Okay. So let's see if it actually works. So at the beginning there are two lines, and I want to replace them with. Did it unselect my? Why did it unselect? I don't know. But anyway, I want to change it to like this. No? Unable to find? What? Is this selected or is this unselected? No, it is selected. In selection. This was selection, seriously. Okay, and now it finds it, so I think it... Why? I'm going to try it once again. So it says it does find it. Okay, then why do you not replace it? Oh, right, because I have to click replace? No way. No, it works now. I don't know. Okay. I don't understand. I don't care too much either, as long as it works. So, I'm going to do another regex here. Again, in selection, do find, however, the end, and do replace the end with a comma. I don't need the spaces though. A comma and a space. And yeah, it works. Okay. Nice. That's actually pretty convenient when it actually works. So now I'm going to have to manually type the mask for everything. So the mask here is going to be 0FFF, F000. So the way it works, if you're new to like end masks, are basically I put 0 in cases where I don't have a constant, where I have some kind of a variable on this position, and I put an F in the place where there is actually a constant. So 0 is a constant, so I put F here, and N are variables, so I do put 000 here. Fine. So then I have 4 constants, because as I did say, E is actually also a constant. Then I have this, and I can actually copy it here. No. Come on. Once again. Okay, and this I have a constant at the end as well as for 0 here. It doesn't matter that these are like different constants for now. I'm going to handle it in a different place. Then I have a series of opcodes which actually do have this mask. Good, and then I have to go back to this mask. C, D, E, and there are actually 2. Yeah, it's same here. This is okay, right, correct, good, Nice. Okay, perfect. So now I have to, once I have all the masks here, I have to basically like change this to anything. It could be, it can be zeros, I guess. So again, I'm going to mark it. And I'm going to 49 is wrong. This one is wrong. Why is it wrong? No, it's correct. It should be like this, I think. And then there is another one wrong, which is E. No, why are you saying that? But this is a correct mask. This is E, which is, it's a constant, it's not a variable. This is fine. Cool. So now what I would actually like to keep this as well, because this is pretty, it tells me something, right? What to expect there. So okay, let's do it something like this. I'm going to mark it and do a couple of regexes here. First of all, I'm going to change, sorry, do only in a selection. And then I have OX and something something, and I want to actually grab this as a group. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and it's grabbed as a group. And I want to change this to now the group, and then, well, the literal group. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted, and now I can do the replacement I did mention. So I want to, only in selection, I want to find this OX. No, I think I don't have a good regex for this. I'm just going to do it manually. I'm going to change all the variables into like zeros, basically, because why not? Okay, it's not a lot. It's quite confusing that they're like letters for variables and like letters which are actually hexadecimal digits, right? Okay. I hope this is fine. If not, we will be debugging this later. So I have part of this table done. Now, for each of these, I actually do need a method name. And I do need a method pointer here. So to do it, how do you do a method pointer? I always forget it. I'm pretty sure yeah, so I thought like the class name and then the method name, okay. So, okay, now let's do, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to grab this part and name the method something like opcode and this part. And I'm going to put them all here. So again, I have to, I guess I don't have to select it, but let's just select it, whatever. And I'm going to grab, I do like the highlighting. This is fancy. I didn't have this in Vim. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then I do have like whatever first. Oh, it's okay. No, that's perfect actually what it did. Did it grab everything? Yes. And I'm going to replace it with, let's hope this is actually it stands for what was there, do put it there again. And then, oh, a real ampersand this time. Name, which is CHIP-8. And now like opcode and yeah, group 1, which is this. And yeah, let's see if it worked. It didn't. Why didn't it work? I guess like the the character for, yeah, let's just do it like this. One, I guess I could use 0/0, whatever, let's do it like this. Yeah, how it worked. Should I have like an underscore here? No. No, this is fine. Does anyone know a shortcut for me to actually, like, if I can select some text and then do like another indentation? If I do this, can I press tab? Oh, I can press tab. Okay, never mind. It works the same way as in some other editors I'm using. Cool. So this looks actually fine. Now, I actually had to initialize it, which I didn't, so I do have to... whatever. Can I do a copy then? You know what, I'm going to change this actually. I'm going to do a vector of it. So I need a vector. Okay, and blah blah blah. Vector of this. Now the question is, can I like push it in some smart way to the vector? I can probably do something like this. So it's actually not a constant. I was lying. This is not a constant, so it's opcode table in that case. Therefore, it should be something like table entry, blah. Let's see if this works. Next stream idea, Genvale reads Sublime text docs and learns how to use his editor. That's probably a boring stream idea. Okay, so this might work or it might not work. I will see in a moment actually. At this time I do have to create all the boilerplate basically for all these methods, which I'm just going to do it like this. I'm going to cat my CHIP-8. Yes, this is Windows, I'm using cat, happens. Now I'm going to copy all this. Okay, if it doesn't work, then I should just add more brackets, that's what KrzaQ says. And I'm going to do a Python script, because I do love my Python scripts. So, okay, I'm going to use my new found skills and try if I can do this. Okay, it seems I cannot use, I do have to use a group here, so let's just do this. Okay, functions for fn in the function, then n is split. I'm not going to write the boilerplate code, I want to generate it basically. Okay, and so, okay, print. Now, what will this opcode return? It will return void. I have no good idea what it should return actually, so it will return void. Then it will be the name, then the, well, opcode itself, right? I will have to do the parsing, but I will do the parsing here, so this will be the opcode. And it will have to have a way to grab probably the next byte as well, but I'll handle it in a second. Okay, so this will be the code which is going to be copy-pasted into the class, so it will be copy-pasted somewhere here. And then I need a similar stuff, but without this. I obviously need an here. And I do need okay. Yeah, let's see what it does. Wow, I get a donation. Thank you. This is my second donation ever on this channel, so thank you very much, Matt. First one was Live Overflow, who was actually testing an XSS here, which is also quite amusing. No, I need to copy everything. So most of the stream will be actually, you know, putting the body inside of these opcodes, which is fine. Okay, KrzaQ did a comment. I will need to check it in a sec. Okay, KrzaQ says right mouse and shift for column selection. Right mouse. Oh, whoa, it works. Surprising. Thank you, KrzaQ. To get Vim movements, you just go to Preferences, Settings, and add the line Ignore Packages. In right window, it works much sweeter. I'm going to actually note this. I'm not going to experiment with it now, because it seems to work for me so far, so I just noted it. And I'm going to experiment with it later. I do need, as you can see, I need to basically also change the color theme, because it's not my color theme. But yeah, it's somewhere on my list. Oh, okay. I wonder how do you collapse? Well, never mind. So, having this, I guess I can start actually implementing the opcodes. I can close this script. So let's look at the opcodes. No, let's look if it compiles, and then I'm going to see if it actually, if I can start implementing the opcodes. So in main loop now, in the initialization function, I did have an initialization function, right? Or do I not have it? Because I needed to call the... I don't. I do have a reset though. Do I need to change the opcode table in reset? No, I don't. So I need a constructor after all. I didn't want to have a constructor, but I do need a constructor after all. So I'm going to create one now. Okay. I guess I'm going to put it somewhere here. Initialize opcode table is the only function I need to call. Everything else is, I think, in reset. Oh, right, I was supposed to add reset as well to it. So I'm going to add reset here, so I don't have to call it in my code. I probably don't call it anyway. No, it is there. It is here. That was a misclick. Okay. So this should be fine now. Cool. Let's try if it. Let's see if it compiles. My console is a little too large now. It perfectly does not compile, no, or does it? Blah blah blah. Okay. No matching. So KrzaQ predicted this might not work and said to add here that I should add actually more brackets. Let's add more brackets and see what happens. No, it doesn't seem to work. What am I doing wrong? Oh right, I'm doing everything fine. This is wrong. It should be, this should actually be a function, a method pointer. Oh, and KrzaQ says he's actually, he actually said that I should add every item, like the additional brackets for every item, but I'm not going to go there yet. I am going to do the proper thing here, which is void how do you method pointers anyway? Blah blah blah. No, this is not void. Yeah, this is void. So void CHIP-8. Yeah, and now handler. Handler is always a good name. And I don't need anything else. And it's not a void, it actually does change the state. So let's see if it works now. I'm actually going to do this. And no matching function call for... Okay. I guess I'm getting somewhat closer. Let's actually experiment with it a little. I'm going to just leave 2 entries. First, I'm going to copy to my temporary file. Where is my temporary file? Here's my temporary file. Perfect. So yeah, so it's actually easier to debug, right? Okay, and I'm going to try the hint which KrzaQ gave me. CLS. And it still says no matching function call for it. I wonder what's the problem. Because it might be that it actually doesn't get that it's like each of these is actually an opcode table entry. So I'm going to experiment a little. I'm going to try this to basically tell it that it's an opcode table entry. And let's do this. And now CLS and make. Okay, and it says it cannot convert blah 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 into AK to chip. Whoa, wait, what? Where did I? Oh yeah, here. My apologies. It should be in 16T. It doesn't matter the name at this point. Well, I should put it here anyway. Well, no. Okay, one more try. And it works, so this is fine. Now, if I get rid of it, it actually should be smart enough to know that it works anyway, like know the type anyway. So, is it? Yes, it is, so now I can copy paste it. So that's my mistake at the declaration. My idea was perfect from the beginning, which I did not expect actually. But yeah. Okay. This looks fine now. It does compile. I think it compiles, right? Sorry. Yes, there are no errors. It does compile. The only problem is that there are a lot of like unused parameter opcode. That's fine. I will get there and like eventually. So what I could do now, so to get rid of this, I could comment all these. Let me maybe do it. I'm going to comment all of these. It's actually the C++ way of saying to the function that yes, you do have an argument, but your argument is actually not going to be used. So I'm going to change opcode in, oh, it's not case sensitive, now it's case sensitive, perfect. I'm going to change it to this opcode. Yeah. And replace all, fine. And this will still compile by Brehm, this is correct code. Yeah, and there are no warnings. Cool, I do see will this CHIP-8 VM use JIT? Excellent question, Dohan. No, it's not going to use JIT in this episode at least. Vesem suggests no unused parameters for better debugging. Yeah, I don't like turning off warnings, I guess. I mean, when I add the body, some of these functions will still not have the opcode parameter. It's not going to be used. Cool, so let's try to implement them. Let's start with the easy ones. And before we implement them, it's not so easy actually. Sorry. So before we implement them, wouldn't it be better to use tabs in ST rather than separate windows? I don't like tabs. It's personal preference, I just don't like tabs. Unless I'm working on like files which are related to one project, then I do like tabs. So if, and the Python script I do not treat as like really belonging to this project, it's just a separate one. So yeah, I mostly don't use tabs. It's just a personal preference again. Probably because of Vim, it didn't have proper tab support. But nah, not true. Now, I do need a set of helper functions. Basically, all of them should parse these. And yeah, so yeah, let's do the helper functions. Okay, I'm going to move it here. I guess I'm first going to implement the helper functions, and then I'm going to like declare them in the class itself. So CHIP-8. So the helper functions will be getting from the opcode, which I'm getting these values. E is obviously a constant, so never mind these values. Now, I'm wondering if, for example, x and y are always on the same position. It seems x is always on this position, and it seems y is always on this position, so this is actually great. Is it really how I said? I'm going to search for x, so it highlights. Yes, x is always on the second position. So this is fine. Then I'm going to look for y. Y is always on the third position, which is perfect. This actually simplifies my functions a lot. And then I have like 3 ends are, well, I do expect them to be on this position. I do have 2 ends, which this is 3 ends, we are always at the bottom. Yeah, always at the bottom. And there is one, oh, sorry, Control F, no, wait. I'm holding the Control key. 1 and where's the opcode? Yeah, here. It's always on the bottom position. Well, it's actually used only in this case, so whatever. But I do need a helper function for it, and there is also I, but I don't think I is ever. Yeah, it's not in the opcodes. The opcodes have either x, y, n, and n, or n. So there are 5 different helper functions I need to write to extract the well given parameters. So let's call them like this: arg n, and it gets the opcode, so in 16t. And these functions are going to be trivial, basically. Sorry, I did forget this name. Opcode. And it returns, well, basically in this case, opcode masked with FFF, which means basically it just like strips out the opcode, this doesn't matter, and gets only these values. So this was easy. It's going to be similarly easy for both other and n functions, though the mask changes, obviously. Okay, this is fine. In case of n, I'm like n, and I'm only doing this. I'm removing this by using a mask. So I'm masking it out. Then x, which is void. Here it's also trivial, though it's a little more code as in a little more like 5 more characters or so. So opcode, and I need to put the mask here. Now I can do it in 2 different ways, but I'm going to put the mask like this because x is always on this position. But I do need to actually push it 8 bits here. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically masking this out. Okay, so I'm masking this out, but so it's going to be 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, and x here, and then I'm moving the x to this position, so it's actually like x, o, o, o. And then I know that there are zeros here, so I'm just returning the x. And it's going to be similar with y, obviously. Though, again, the mask changes because y is always on this position. I guess it's more visible if I actually do it like this. Like, I know that it's obvious for every programmer, but maybe not so for all of the beginners. And then I need to shift it right using for its unsigned shift, which is correct. A signed shift would be funny here, it would be a bug. So an unsigned shift will be fine here. Okay, so I have these these helper functions. They are actually cons because we are just helping. So let me put this here. And now I guess I can like copy paste them. Where is my helper script again? Here we are, perfect. So okay, now let's see the trig which KrzaQ showed me. Can I select this and remove it? Whoa, this is actually awesome. No. Move it. I don't know if it was. Whoa. How do I exit it? That's funny. It's like boy meets world. Okay. And indentation, obviously, and I can copy it to my class in my main file. So it goes somewhere here. Okay. Yeah, let's put it here. Now, let's use this moment to actually, I'm going to show you. If you just arrived, I'm doing a giveaway today, and you have to send your nickname to the email which is there. It's like ginveil plus pocgtfo@coldwind.pl, and yeah, I'm going to give away this book. And again, as I mentioned, I'm kinda restricted where I can send it by Swiss Post and international laws, so my apologies if somebody is picked and I actually cannot send you the book, but yeah, I will try my best. So yeah, do take 2 minutes to send it and send the email, and we'll get back to basically writing the code. Now, if you're wondering what is this book, it's basically POC or GTFO means proof of concept or get the fuck out, and it's a paper, basically a hacker, well, more a magazine, a quarterly magazine with really awesome hacking articles, mainly articles which have proof of concepts, so that they actually, like, all the articles need a proof that something described in that article actually did work. So, and yeah, and they then took the articles after having, well, several issues, like publishing several issues of a magazine. They did publish a book which has most of the articles, I guess. Yes, I can say bad words. It's in the name, that's why I said it. Usually my favorite curse word is butterfly's leg. It's a Polish joke. Okay, so void. Okay, Foxtrot, you have a point. It should not be void. Why is it not showing up there? Okay, Foxtrot is, oh, it's because it's not accepted. I accepted it. Okay. So I'm going to basically move it here and change it. It's not void, obviously, it's int 16t. Not in all cases, it could be like int 8t, but int 16t works as well. You never can have too much precision, I guess. Okay, and let's move this here and let's fix it. Obviously, I need to change it in the here as well. So my mistake. Oh wait, I'm going to use the trick. Can I use the trick? No. No, I cannot. Probably. I don't know. No, because it selects everything. Maybe there is like a different way to do it. I'm seriously going to read the docs for this editor. Okay. So I do hope you did send the email, so I'm going to remove this. I'm going to run the lottery script, the giveaway script at the end of the live stream, just before like I hang off basically. Cool. So now having these functions, I guess I can finally start implementing stuff. Let's sorry, where's the stack register? They have a section called the stack. Stack is used blah 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 blah. Where's the stack pointer? No, they have. Oh. Okay. So the stack is actually a separate piece of memory, I guess, or an actual stack. I'll implement it in a second. I'll start with something easy. Clear display. That's hard, I'm not going to do it. This is hard, I'm not going to do it. Jump to address NNN. This is easy, I'm going to do it. So it's 1 NNN, 1 NNN. Do I need, yes, I do need And this is basically like PC, like the program counter is supposed to be equal after this to arg n opcode. Implemented, perfect. Next one. Call a subroutine. A subroutine actually puts something on the stack, so what is this? I don't know what is this. I'm going to read about it later. Okay, conditional. So skips the next instruction if vx is equal to n. Usually the next instruction is a jump. That's a pretty convenient way to do conditional stuff. You don't have to have a flags register. Nice, nice. How am I going to implement it? This is actually quite funny. No, it's easy. So it's this one, right? So let's do it like this. If my assumption, by the way, is that PC is working like same as EIP or RIP on x86, which means it actually points to the next instruction to be executed at the moment of executing the implementation of each opcode. So yeah, I'm assuming that here as well, but PC actually points to the next instruction already. So if I want to skip the next instruction, I just add two bytes, because we're 2 bytes per opcode, right? So okay, if and now do I need the opcode? I do need the opcode, right? And it's I think I do need, sorry, what's the X used for? Is it always used for a register? If it's used always for the register, then I'm actually not going to return this. I'm going to make it a little more funny. What's a register in my case? A register is just this. No, okay, I'm not going to do anything funny. I was thinking about returning actually a reference to the register, because why not? But that might complicate some code for me later, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do instead implement something like this. So vx, is it called v? Yeah, it's called v from get to. Okay. So v from arg x of opcode if it's equal to arg and n of opcode. In that case, if it's equal, skips the next instruction. Okay, so in that case, PC plus equals to implemented. Perfect. This is hard work. Let's do it. Sorry, this wasn't what I wanted to do. Okay, let's do it like this. So I can copy paste this code, I guess, here. 4 means is not equal, then skip. Then the 5, this gets different. This is actually, I have 2 registers here with X and Y as register selectors or register indexes, however you want to call it. I do have too many new lines here. Cool, so I have implemented this already. This is basically load immediate. I do need to uncomment this though. It will complain, but I forgot to uncomment it, so it's an easy fix. Okay, if v of arg x. Yeah, as you can see, this is like grungy work. Opcode. Maybe I should call it O and not opcode, and I wouldn't have to write so much. Okay, whatever. Then this, I don't have to change the carry flag, which is really fine by me. I don't want to change it anyway. So here we go. There's a question. In the last one, there is this one. Thank you very much, Noga. Fine, then this one. Okay, so this is basically this. Assignment, but well, it's actually a copy from one register to the other, so I don't need to do this. Is it Y here? Yes, it's Y here. Okay, then, so that's 8, but this one. Then I have bit operations. Do bit operations actually set the carry flag? I don't think so, I don't know. Doesn't seem so. This one doesn't. So, how do the bit operations work? One is OR. Do I have to do anything fancy here? No, I don't. I just have to do this. So, yeah. No, this is fine. I was wondering for a second if this is actually truncated to 8 bits, or do I have to do the truncation manually, but it's truncated because the register size is actually 8 bits, so that's fine. This is fine. This... I'm going to basically do this. Let's do this. And replace all. Didn't work because this is not a regular expression. Made 105 replacements and it didn't replace where it was supposed to replace. Come on. Okay. Okay, that's fine. 2 is supposed to be AND. 3 is supposed to be XOR or XOR or exclusive OR, whatever you want to call it. 4 is supposed to be math. It sets to 1 when there's a carry and to 0 where there isn't. It sets VF, sorry, not V1. And this is how you do cheating, by the way. Is it? It's fine. I'm going to cast it to a bigger size to see if there's a carry. Otherwise, doing it is like a pain. I don't want to do it. What's my line size here? Sorry, 72. Acceptable. Okay. Okay, so I have the result. The result is supposed to be put in X. That's correct. And I don't have to do this cast here. This cast here would be implicit, but the compiler would complain that this cast is happening here. And VF, so VF is supposed to be set to 1 if there is a carry. So if res is greater or equal to 100, that means there was a carry. So it's going to be set to 1. I don't have to do anything else. I think this is it will be either a boolean or an integer otherwise. Well, either case it's going to be converted into an integer anyway, so it's going to be 0 or 1. So I think this is fine. Then we have 5, which is quite the other way around. KrzaQ doesn't like the C-style casts, and I don't like writing static blah blah blah, which is way longer than it needs to be. So, yes. Okay, and here is I'm actually going to do a signed operation because so it's supposed to be like this, and I'm doing a signed operation here. That being said, I am going to do this, like repeat the operation here without the casts. I'm going to see if the result is less than 0. Is this how you write less than 0? Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing this here basically because I don't want to try to... I don't want to convert a 16-bit potentially negative... No, wait. I'm thinking about like if this is a defined or undefined behavior, no, but no, this is a defined behavior, it's undefined the other way around, so I can actually do it here. I don't have to like repeat the operation. This will be fine and this will be defined and this should work correctly. And I am pretty sure, yes, I'm pretty sure that is correct. Cool. So, sorry, is this correct? VF is set to 0 when there's a borrow and to 1 if it isn't, so it's negated actually. So, or maybe let's do it. If there is no borrow, then set to 1. Yes, correct. Okay, 6 with, whoa, what? shifts Vy right by 1 and copies the result to Vx. Vf is set to the least significant bit. So that's basically like a shifting out a bit, and the shifted out bit is put there. Okay. Sounds rather easy. Well, not that I expect like some uneasy opcodes here. Uneasy, is that even a word? It's probably not. So let's start maybe with grabbing the least significant bit. So int 8t least significant bit is supposed to be, and I'm actually doing this for arc y opcode, yes, that's correct, and I'm grabbing the least significant bit, so I do have it saved. Now what I can do is I can do let's maybe do it like this. I grab this, I do shift right, and now I can basically do. I dislike the fact that I'm actually grabbing the. No, okay, let's leave it. I'm going to write it though. I'm not going to write it like I could write it like same like here, but I don't want to write it like this. And X. Okay, and the F is supposed to be set to the value of that bit, so LSB. Perfect. 7, which... Oh, it basically is like the same, like this one, but it reverses. Does it also do a carry set? Yes, it does. I'm going to copy paste this and I'm going to change. This is where I'm going to make a mistake. I'm pretty sure about it. Okay, result goes here. And if there isn't a barrow, then I do set it to 1. No, it might be I even got it right. Then on 8, I'm going to copy paste this. And here I have the most significant bit, so I do have to copy the most significant bit here. And to do it, I'm going to basically shift this by 7. Is that correct? Yes, it's correct. And given that the register size is 8, I don't have to do any mask. I think if I have to do, you know, like, yeah, basically like this here, but I don't, because the register size is 8, I'm doing an unsigned shift. It should be fine this way. So I do have it, then I need to do a shift left this time. I need to put the result in this register, and also the most significant bit is going to be copied into VF. Perfect. Then I have another conditional jump. Skips the next instruction if Vx doesn't equal to Vy. How does it? Oh, right, because these conditionals were with immediate values, as in constants. Did I implement that one correctly? Sorry, where is my... Yeah, here it is. Yeah, that's correct. So I just need to copy paste this implementation. I'm wondering how many copy paste errors I'm going to make. But copy pasting code is one way of actually getting it wrong. But I do believe, and the keyword here is believe, that this one should be correct. Then I have, okay, so sets I to the address NNN. Okay. Yeah, I really dislike I as using the name here, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make a shadow error somewhere, like shadowing the I, when I actually don't want to shadow it. Arc NNN opcode. Yeah. So this was easy. Then jumps to address NNN plus VO. Okay, that's an easy one. PC equals VO plus. This is a funny one. Is this supposed to be truncated to 12 bits? I think it's supposed to be truncated to 12 bits though, but I do have to implement it. So yeah, let's truncate it to 12 bits. It's quite funny because you can jump into the middle of an instruction, which you shouldn't be able to do on this kind of architecture. Or is the RAM here? No, the RAM here is in bytes, right? It's not in words. Or maybe I'm getting the PC wrong. That would be fun. Yeah, we'll see. Sets the x to result of a bitwise and operation for a random number. Now that's a funny one. It seems like probably every hardware and is like this. There was no hardware for it, but probably every emulator implemented it differently. I wonder if there is some standard how the rand should be actually implemented here. So since I'm on Windows, I'm going to just use the Windows rand. It's not thread safe, but I am not using rand in the other thread, so this should be fine. Well, okay, so the arc, sorry, x, is it? Yes, it is. Of opcode is supposed to be equal to rand. Let's just use, again, thread unsafe, but I don't mind. Arc mn opcode. Okay, then I have something draw sprite coordinates, blah blah blah. I will implement it later. Then I have skips the next instruction if the key stored in. Is this blocking? Is pressed. What does it mean is pressed? Does it mean it's like hold down? Is the key down? Is this what it means? Also, what are the... oh right, the key codes are probably from just 0 to F, because that's what this is supposed to be. Okay, I will implement this later when I will implement this later as well, because I don't have the timers right now. Or do I have the timer counters at least? I do not have the timers at all, so I implement it later. Then I have, oh, this is easy. So we get fx1e here. So and again, should I be truncated to 12 bits? I think it should be truncated to 12 bits, therefore I'm going to code it like this. I plus v of arc x opcode 12 bits. Did I actually implement the truncation here? Yes, it is. Perfect. Okay, then I have like, I don't know what is this, I don't care at this point. Why are there BCDs here? A BCD is a binary coded decimal. You might not believe it, but x86 actually had native support for it at some point. Do I seriously need to implement it? Stores the binary coded decimal representation of VX with the most significant of 3 digits at the address I. The middle, well, okay, let's just code it. I'm not going to code the sprites yet. So set BCD VX and BCD, there's no register code BCD anyway, so it's supposed, yeah, I'm going to like introduce a variable named BCD because why not? And it's supposed to be v of arc x opcode. Okay, and then it's supposed to do, I do have mem, right? And I'm pretty sure at this point that, sorry, is my memory a vector? If it's not a vector, it should be a vector. It's not a vector, it should be a vector. Oh no. I want it to be a vector std, vector 8. Okay. Not that I remember actually, C++, vector, if this is a correct constructor. Not sure I want to call this constructor anyway here. So constructors and size, and yeah, this should be fine. I guess I can do it like this. Or not like this. Okay, and I want it to be just in case I failed with I in some place. And no, there's actually a really funny case here as well, right? Because if you look at it, and if you set I to FFF, then if you do like +2, you're actually out of bounds of memory and you have a buffer overflow. So I don't want this to happen. I don't know if there is any like, if it's undefined behavior on this, or is there, or is it like actually defined behavior what should happen? Maybe I plus this should always be treated as a 12-bit value and therefore should always be put somewhere. I don't know. I'm just going to add it. As you know, throws an exception. It actually does bound checking. So I'm going to use add, and I'm going to do I plus 0, just as they say. It returns a reference, so I can do this. Now this is +0 is supposed to have, sorry, 3. What is supposed to be 3? The most significant of 3 digits at the address I. Okay, so most significant of BCD is actually I divided by 100. And given that these are like, you know, 8 bits, it can be either value 0, value 1, or value 2. So divided by 100, it can be, yeah, that's all. I don't have to do anything else here. Cool. Then I do have, this is supposed to be divided by 10, but also I need this, so I get actually that number of tens. And the last one is actually just this, which is the number of units? How do you call it in English? I don't know. Okay, so this should be fine. Now, there is some more memory operations. This is actually a really funny instruction. I did look at it a few days ago. There was a discussion on our IRC channel about it. It stores from V0 to VX, so VX is actually the last register, including VX. Yeah, it has to include VX, I guess. And the memory starting at address I. So again, we have like the funny case of I is equal to FFF, and then somebody wants to store registers up to VF, and we have a 15-byte overflow. So, and again, my question would here be, should I just wrap around, and should the overflowing bytes actually write at the beginning of the memory? Or should I just throw some exception? At this point, I'm going to throw an exception. Maybe later when I'm testing, I'm going to do the wrap around. If the address bus of this architecture would be 12 bits, then you would have to implement a wrap around. Okay, so how to do it in a sane way? Let's do it like this. I'm going to grab last register, which is going to be VX. So but it's not the value in VX. So I'm just grabbing the index here. And yes, not I, J, because I is this I. I don't like it. 0, J, or equal last. And this is, sorry, is it dump? What is dump? Is it store? Here it's store. So mem at I plus J is supposed to be equal to V of J. Okay. Yeah, this looks fine to me. Let's see if it works later. This is the same thing but the other way around, so I'm going to copy paste it basically. Okay, this is fine. No, it's not fine. No, it's J here. It is fine, surprisingly. So I'm still missing implementation of at least this, 1, 2, quite a lot of these. What are these? Why do I haven't not implemented them? Like for example, this one, what is this? Oh, it's display, so draw something. Draw a sprite at coordinates Vx and Vy that has a width of 8 pixels and the height of n pixels. Each row of 8 is read as bit coded starting from memory location I and height of n pixels. This is a cool opcode. There are like graphical chips in older computers which do exactly this. I value does not change after the execution of this instruction. VF is set to 1 if any screen pixels are flipped. Oh right, because it does the fancy flipping, right? So you draw a 0, you XOR basically. So to implement this, what I have to do is I actually have to have a frame buffer. So let me create a frame buffer. Do I have created a frame buffer here? I have not, right? Where is the question? In FX55. Here, increased for each I is increased for each value is written. Okay, thank you. You are correct, sir. Which means I do not have to do this. I can do I++, but I can do I++ here. And I guess it's the same here. Thank you very much. That would be a big mistake. I would lose some time debugging this. So thank you, Michał. Okay, back to the... I was supposed to create... std, do I need a vector? Well, let's make it. Oh, std vector. Okay. Noga, yeah, I was thinking this was the memory access instruction I mentioned by figuring out the RIs in my compiler. Yeah, Noga is. We had a discussion on IRC a couple of days ago about basically how to compile a higher level language to this architecture. It's a pretty cool thing. Okay. So frame buffer. My frame buffer is going to be funny. It's going to be 8-bit per pixel, but it's going to be either 0 or 1. Because I say so. Frame buffer. And the size of a frame buffer, what was the resolution of it again? It was like super small, right? Like 32 to 64 or 64. Yeah. So 64 to 32. I'm not sure if these should be hard-coded, but yeah, let's just hard-code them. I don't think there are like any. So having this, I can already implement this opcode. Here, it's supposed to clear the display. So clearing the display is just basically like doing a memset, I guess. Memset size of FB size and no 0. Yeah. Is this the correct way? No, I do not believe it. I forgot what is the order of parameters in memset. It's the values in the middle, so I didn't forget it, but yeah, that should not have happened. Okay, and I guess I should probably also call a function here which will redraw the screen. So I'm going to make up a method called redraw screen, which is going to take the frame buffer and is going to fully draw it into the CHIP-8 frame buffer, and it's going to fully draw it to the real frame buffer. And I'm going to call this redraw screen in basically every place where I do the where I actually do the some graphical operations, which I guess isn't so, there aren't so many such places. Is it a const? No, it's not const. I don't know what it does yet. I'm going to implement it in a second, I guess. So, given that is like 9:20, and I'm going to probably spend 10 more minutes coding this, next time it will be adding keys, adding key support, adding timer support, adding sound support, if I want to add it, or at least like mock it, and then testing it. And I still have no idea what this is. And I'm probably going to add the stack today as well. So okay, there's like to do. So there's going to be at least one more episode of actually coding this CHIP-8 thingy. I'm wondering how much debugging will there be. Okay, this are there only 2 opcodes which do display drawing? Yes, well, so it seems. So let's implement this one. Okay, this. So, okay, I guess I need the coordinates, right? So yeah, this is going to be easy. Yeah, here's another fun question. Are the coordinates supposed to wrap around, or are they supposed to overflow my memory again? This is like another of these places where you could actually make a mistake. Okay. I'm going to do wraparound. So, yeah. Doesn't change. Well, it probably will not wrap around. Here's why I think that, because if let's assume that let's assume this is the frame buffer, right? And you have a character which is a couple of sprites, and you want to draw the character here, and it's quite easy, but when you move the character downwards, and when you draw it here, you actually want this to be out of your screen, so this is not drawn on the screen. If it would to wrap around, you would actually like draw the rest of the character here, which is probably not something you want while in such platforms. So this is probably not correct. I will probably have to change this. But this will come out when we are actually running some real software for this platform. Okay, so these are the coordinates. It has width of 8 pixels and supposed to be just end. So just end. Yeah. Okay, for j equals to 0, j is smaller than n, j++, and I'm also going to increment y here as the coordinate where I'm drawing. Then, okay, then here I get the memory, so 8 pixel, and it's going to be mem at I, and I does not change, so I do need to add j to it. And now I need to actually draw it, so there are 8 bits in pixels, and it's also the width of it is 8 bits. Sorry, I think this is fine. I was thinking whether I should increment x here as well, like the x coordinate, but I shouldn't. Cool. So the frame buffer from the frame buffer on the coordinates of x plus k plus y times 64, as there are 64 rows in the frame buffer. I do hope this is how the frame buffer works. This is like a typical formula you use for frame buffers. It might not be the correct formula for this architecture. I am going to find out the hard way. and I need to XOR it because, again, as it's said in the documentation somewhere, you always XOR it with but there's one more thing I have to do here, but yeah, like saying this VF register, but let's go to this first with PX. And okay, each row of 8 pixels is read as bit coded starting from memory location I. Okay, is it bit coded starting from least significant bit to the most significant bit, or is it the other way around? This is not set here, which sprite pixel flipped. Okay, this is not helpful. I guess I'm going to find out the hard way. I'm going to assume this is actually like this, least significant bit first. Okay, so I grab the K bit from the pixel and I XOR it with this, and I actually have no idea if something was changed at all. How do I implement this logic? This is going to be funny. I value does not change. Okay, VF is set to 1 if any screen pixels are flipped. So if any screen are flipped from set to unset. So I guess it's like this. Let's do flipped, or both flipped, and both flipped, and set it to false, so nothing is flipped yet. So this only happens if both of these are actually, both of these are actually equal. If both of these are set to, no, not only equal, they have to be set to 1 actually. Otherwise they are not flipped. So, and this has to be set to 1. This is getting complicated. So if bit is set and this is actually set, if both of these are set, yeah, this is the correct one. In that case, the flipped is actually ORed with true. Yeah, it can be ORed like this. Yeah, this looks fine. Just compare pre and post. No, because I need, if I compare pre and post, then it will give me, so it's like this. If you read this correctly, right, it's supposed to be set to 1 if any screen pixels are flipped from set to unset. So first of all, the pre has to be set, and second of all, I also have to flip it so the pixel itself, which I'm drawing, is supposed to be set. So I cannot do compare pre and post. That would give me the incorrect result. Okay, so this draws to the screen buffer. Then I do set this to flipped. This should be automatically casted into an integer, so true will be casted into 1. And then I need to redraw the screen, obviously. Remove redraw screen. Okay. Now, so this is the second display, but I think there was also some other stuff having to do with, yeah, this one. Sets I to the memory location of the sprite for character VX. Oh, okay. Since at the beginning of the memory there is supposed to be like font, I guess, then like font like this, then there is a special opcode for it, which doesn't make sense at all, but okay. I will implement it when I actually do have the font here, so probably next time. So this is fine. Now, let's implement the redraw screen, and let's do the giveaway then. So, alright, I did create the function. So redraw screen is going to be rather easy, but I need one more thing. Mainly, here this, I do need this. How do I do it? I'm actually going to copy this here. So I guess I'm going to have to, I don't like this solution. I'm going to have to figure it out later how to do it correctly. Do I want to, no, I want my code to be somewhat SDL independent, which is already is not, but I want it to be still a little, at least a little independent. So I'm going to do uint8 pointer to like window, screen, now it's called screen. And it's supposed to be 0 at the beginning, so I'm going to initialize it like this. And I'm going to create a method called void set screen buffer. There's one more thing I need to do here actually. I need to have uint32, yeah, 32, whatever. Screen W like for the width and screen H for the height. And these can be anything, but let's also zero them at the beginning. Okay, set screen buffer, and now I can do this. No, because I actually have to have like also the pitch there. Or do I? Maybe it's okay if I do like set this to pitch. Now maybe I don't have to do it after all, so let's keep it like this. Some buffer, next screen, minor buff, W and then H. Okay, and this will set my screen buffer. Yeah, there's way more code now. So I'm going to keep actually these two functions close to each other. So Vesim actually had some code on his attempt to parse the opcodes, and his attempt looked like these are constructors, these are templates. You wanted to do it in a fancy way. Okay, parser execute. But does this actually work for... Does this work compilation time? It looks like it works compilation time, but does it also work runtime? Give it an opcode, and the opcode doesn't have to be static, so when it calls execute helper of opcodes on this, that's a fancy code. And when you do this, if it's with flag, I guess flag is the same as my, yeah, it's the mask, I guess. If it's equal, then execute. No, really, does it work runtime as well? Maybe it does. It's pretty fancy code. Thank you for sharing. I guess I'm going to pass it around as well. What? YouTube says I cannot paste the link. Why cannot I paste the link? I am the owner of this channel. This is weird. I did paste it on IRC though. Okay, let's do the screen drawing then. So first of all, I do have to assert if screen buffer is ready at all, which means that if the screen is like actually null pointer, then the screen is not ready, and I'm going to just return. I'm not going to issue any errors, so this should be actually an assert, like a hard abort here. And then for J, I don't like it already, for K maybe, Y, let's do Y. For Y equals to 0, Y less than 32, Y plus plus. For, I'm going to just copy paste the frame buffer to the buffer, but there's like no magic here. This is just like stretching it, and without any fancy filters or something, or however you want to call it. I will have to create another function here, which will be like CHIP-8 draw pixel at given coordinates, where the coordinates are like integers, because why not? And also color. And yeah, okay, that should be fine. So I will actually implement the drawing there. And here what I do is I do this. So this isn't really like draw one pixel, this is like more like draw a rectangle. Big pixel. The naming is hard. I draw big pixel and X, Y, and the color is going to be frame buffer X plus Y times 64, and so it's going to be either 0 or 1, and I'm going to multiply it by FFF. If I multiply it by FF, it's going to be, if it's 0 then it's still 0, if it's 1 then it's FF, which will be white in my case, I guess. So here what I do is I actually, from the starting point of Y times the size of pixel, which is pixel size in my case, to basically times pixel size. Is this correct? Yes, this is correct. Then for okay, X times, this is basically the same code here. Oh, if you could tell me, by the way, can you hear me correctly today? Because I actually decreased the gain of the microphone, which means that my voice should be a little less noisy, I would say, but it's also quieter. Okay, so this is fine, and this is where I actually get to draw anything. So screen of px, why is this 256 at all? Yeah, it shouldn't be like this, it should be screen. No. This is k times this plus, this formula isn't correct, but whatever. But oh wait, I do need I'm not going to do it correctly now. I might do it correctly later. So k times this plus y. I am also, as you see, not doing any bound checking, so I'm basically just assuming I'm doing this correct. Okay, so k plus y times 4, and these are the separate colors, so this should be fine. It's obviously going to be truncated to 8 bits. So let me maybe change this here to uint8 so it doesn't complain a lot. And it should be, this should be enough to actually draw the screen. So let's see if it compiles at all. Yeah, sorta, kinda. It doesn't like this. Why don't you like it? No, seriously. Expected identifier. What did I do wrong here? I want this to... Oh, because it's supposed to be a size type. How do I do a size type? I don't know how do I do a size type. Otherwise it actually thinks, but... Is it trying to cast it? Okay, now it's fine. Yeah, I'm a little worried here, but it's actually not doing what I think it's doing. Yeah, it actually, yeah, yeah, this isn't good. You know what, I'm going to do it in my constructor. I do have a constructor for something. So it's FB and mem, right? Where do I have my constructor is a totally different thing. Resize, and that's 64 times 20, 32, and then I have mem resize. What just happened? 4096. Okay. There's probably a way to do it. I just don't know it. Yeah, I do know that these are like different meanings. Okay, this parameter is unused, this is fine. Expected primary expression, this doesn't seem it is working. How do I jump to a given line? FB equals to vector or unit of size. KrzaQ, can I do it in the class declaration, or do I have to do it in constructor? Flipped, what do you dislike? Flipped. Can I do it like this? Seriously? Okay, never mind. I mean, I don't really care, it will work this way too. It's good that I don't have any weird errors. Ah, right, mem is but I changed it to this should be like this. This is fine because it's now a vector, right? So I have to do it like that. Okay, yeah, that actually shortened the list of the errors quite significantly. Then I have on set screen buffer, I have not implemented set screen buffer at all, right? Yeah, so I need to implement it. This is going to be obviously easy. W equals W and screen H equals H. So this should be done. Then, okay, unused, this is fine. Here, line 373. Here, which it says member function is not declared because I changed this, so that might be correct. Usually if I would be coding, I would actually have the window split into two, having the class declaration on one pane and the code on the other. No, wait, it's not this. Wait, which one is it? Oh, it's Draw Big Pixel. I don't have it actually in my class at all. So, yeah, let's put it here. X, Y, and color. Okay. And then line 400, I cannot convert something. Again, this is the same mistake. Well, mistake, I didn't fix it after changing it. So I again have to do this. After changing it to a vector. And this one says it's an unused. So this is unused. This is correct that this is unused, because what I have to do here is I actually have to do VM set screen buffer to px, then surface W and surface H, I guess. Or is it width and height? I guess I'm going to find out the hard way. If it complains, then it's actually px was not declared, sorry, surface pixels, and it's C++, not C, so I actually have to do an explicit cast here, which is fine. Okay, that's fine. So it compiles. Does it do anything more than it did last time? No, it doesn't even draw the blue pixel now. But I guess I have most of the opcodes implemented. I'm still missing the actual execution logic, which is probably not going to be too hard. I'm missing the stack. I'm missing the timers, and I'm missing the keys. After that is done, which I think I should finish next time, it will be only debugging with what is left. So I think this is fine now. So let's do the giveaway. So okay, I'm going to upload this code, by the way, to GitHub, as I did mention before. The giveaway was to send an email with POC or GTFO tag, and okay, let's see who is the winner. I actually do have on my Polish live streams a really nice graphics, like an animation for this. But I don't have it hooked up here, since this is the first giveaway, so I don't even think about it. Okay. I'm running my script. I'm not going to show you how the script is running, because it would actually disclose people's email, and I don't want to do it. And there have been 43 people participating in the giveaway, and the winner is... Let me find your nickname. Is this your email? Yes, it is. Okay, so the winner is MLG Radish. Congratulations, I will contact you after the stream for shipping details. And you will get this book, POC or GTFO, so congratulations. And I guess this is it for today. If there are any questions, I guess I can take them now. If there are no questions, then let's call it a day. And next week we will continue with the last part, hopefully the last part of the implementation of CHIP-8, right? Cool. So, no questions. I guess we can get going in that case. So, thank you very much for coming. Thank you to my wonderful moderator, KrzaQ, and good luck on the mission which Foxtrot Charlie prepared for you. So, yeah, have fun and see you next week. And I'm going to leave you with some music and also the mission.